changes.
Hello everybody, and welcome to another edition of Local Water Filter Experts. My name is Bill Livingston, and today I want to talk to you about a subject that I get asked about quite often. Many of my family and friends ask me about whether they should buy or rent a reverse osmosis unit. They know I've got one, and they know how much I like mine, and so they want to know whether they should buy it or rent it. So I just came up with a few tips here for you so you can help maybe make your decision for your personal circumstances. We'll talk about purchasing a unit first. Of course, here you're going to have your upfront cost. In most cases, you're probably going to pay in the neighborhood of $300 to $500 or $600. Okay, so you're going to have an upfront cost there. Now that's with the exception of you may have upfront costs, but a lot of the companies out there today provide financing, so you might be able to pay that off for a number of months. The second thing you want to think about is the ongoing cost. These units are basically a series of filters and reverse osmosis modules and so forth that over time need to be changed out. The old ones need to be thrown out because they'll be full of sediment or whatever, and they need to be replaced. So there's going to be a periodic cost for what's called a pre-filter. That could be sediment filters, it could be carbon filters in their individual housings. And then you have the module itself. Some will last longer depending on your water supply and the type of module that you have. So when you're talking to whoever you're interested in buying from, then make sure that you get a cost estimate for how often you're going to need to change out these filters and what is the cost for them doing it or for you picking them up and you putting them in yourself, or what kind of shipping costs are there if you're going to order the filters online. When it comes down to the modules, in most cases I think it'd be good if the company came out to change the module. There's some other things that the company can do that is just sort of hard for consumers to take care of, and as far as like cleaning capillary, making sure the capillary tubes are clean and so forth, and of course that sanitizing the unit. So, but that all costs money, and it's going to be money that's going to be spent every year. Some years, most modules are going to last more than 1 year. It's likely you're going to need to change out those pre-filters and post-filters and so forth, at least on a yearly basis. One more tip to consider here is just to think about if you're going to be at your present location for a while or if you plan on moving in the near future. The units can be taken with you, but it's a little bit difficult to do that. And the thing is that the water supply where you go to may be different than the water supply that you have now. And so the unit that you chose for this particular water supply may not work as well on the other end. The other thing is you're going to end up having installation cost, on the other end. So you just have to consider if you're going to be moving, then it may be that actually renting the unit would be better, because then you just have the company come out and pick up the unit, and you don't have to worry about it anymore. And of course, with the way it is with any product, you're going to have warranties, and the warranties are going to be for a limited time. And of course, like in so many cases, your warranty runs out the week before you end up needing it. And so when you own your unit, then that's going to end up probably costing you more. As opposed to rental units, the warranty never really expires because the local dealer really needs to take care of that. So that is a consideration too as to whether you buy something online or if you buy something at the hardware store or whatever is you have to determine your capabilities and what you want to do. For some folks out there, there's nothing to change out the filters and to install the units themselves or whatever. That's one level. But for most people, installing an RO unit is not that easy, and changing out the filters might not be that easy, or you just might not want to deal with all that and take the chance of having leaks and things like that the others would take care of for you. In review and considering whether to purchase your unit, you're going to have a heavy upfront, or a heavier, not heavy, but heavier upfront cost. And then you're definitely going to have the cost of replacing your filters, and whether you're going to do it or whether you're going to have a service man or woman come out there and do it for you. But it needs to be done, and especially it needs to be sanitized periodically. Then, of course, if you move, and it's pretty obvious that you probably have an advantage of renting a unit over buying one, because it might not be the best case to really take the unit with you. You can do it, but just, again, it depends on your expertise and your confidence in your abilities to install the units and so forth. And, of course, then in the end, the warranty expiration. With purchasing a unit, you're going to have a warranty. It's going to be for a limited time. And then with a rental unit, you're not going to have that worry at all. Okay, now as far as renting units, for one, every local water treatment company might not provide rental units. I usually advise my friends and family to rent units as opposed to buying them, but that's just me. You're going to have you will have a smaller upfront cost, but you're going to have a monthly fee that you're going to pay the local company, and there might possibly be an installation charge on top of that. Now, here's what I consider to be the most important reason why I actually recommend to family and friends to rent a unit. And for one is that we all get busy, and time goes by faster and faster and faster and faster. And the companies that rent the units actually put you on a schedule to have scheduled maintenance. And when they come out and do that maintenance, which they notify you about so you can make arrangements, what they come out and do is they test your water to see if the unit's working properly. They go ahead and change out the filters, the appropriate filters that they need to change out at that interval. And they sanitize the unit, which I think is very important. And then overall, they check for leaks. They check for just the overall condition of the unit. And you don't pay any extra for that. And you don't have to worry about the cost of the filters. You don't have to worry about shipping or anything like that. They just take care of it. This is the strongest point I have about renting as opposed to purchasing, because you're going to know that unit is working, and you don't have to worry about anything other than just enjoying the water. Another thing here is, of course, if you plan on moving out of the area, it's really easy just to give them a call, schedule them to come out and uninstall the unit, pick it up, and then there's no more worries. Now, obviously, there's no warranty expiration issues because the company just continuously takes care of the unit as you rent it from them on a month-to-month basis. So in review, there's a smaller upfront cost, and so I think that could be very beneficial for some. And probably the most important thing, as I've mentioned earlier, is that if you rent the unit, you're going to be put on a regularly scheduled maintenance program where the company comes out and they test the water, they change the filters for you. There's no extra charge for all that. They change the module out as they need to, and they sanitize the unit and make sure it's working properly. That's a very important difference for me. Of course, it's easy just to discontinue service if you want to move, and you don't have to worry about warranties. So in conclusion, my recommendation for most people would be, if they have the opportunity to rent a reverse osmosis unit from a local company, I think they should. Just make sure that company has been in business for a while. I would recommend, if they were a member of the Water Quality Association, that would be a big plus. For even more assurance, you could check to see if they're a member of the Better Business Bureau. The only time that I would recommend necessarily buying the unit, and there are many times I would be if you had some expertise, if you weren't intimidated by the plumbing and changing the filters out, and you were a very handy person. You know what you're doing. And for instance, I know what I'm doing, so I buy a unit and I take care of it myself. Most people don't know how to do those kind of things, or they don't have the time to do it, or don't want to learn how to do it. So the rental fees are pretty doggone cheap. I can't believe how cheap they are. And so you can get a good quality water with your RO unit, and you can use it to fill up bottles and take to work with you or wherever. And you can almost, depending on the water supply and so forth, you'll be able to get a very high quality of water for a small amount of money. I sure would appreciate it if you'd hit the like button in the event that you enjoyed this video or learned something, And also, if you have some other tips for consumers that might help them out in making their choices, then I sure would appreciate it if you just leave comments down below so we can help each other. Thank you.
life.